first and last name so that we know who you are, we can see who you are, and you get PD credit. So today we're going to be talking about a lot of information regarding marketing, as well as some brand new initiatives for K&A that will help you manage reviews, social media. I don't want to give it away, but Leah and her team will be presenting. And then we'll also be hearing from some CND, Center Network Development Specialists, to hear about some fantastic changes and initiatives that for new centers opening, as well as the referral program. And then we will have a bookmark update and some West Regional updates to close us out. So buckle up, it's going to be a fun day. So to start us off, we are going to have the branding team led by Leah, and presenting with Leah is going to be Daphne as we dive into all things Q2 marketing and SOCi. So everybody, please give a warm welcome to Daphne and Leah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Daphne. I'm a communication specialist in the marketing communications team, and I'm going to be pulling up this presentation in just a second. Awesome. So I'm so excited to be presenting today and to get started. So our agenda for today, we're going to be discussing a variety of topics, including Q2 strategy and approach, retention activities, local marketing ideas, and we're going to end it off with a SOCi training video. So to get started, we'll be touching on our Q2 creative strategy and the timeline on how that is looking. So a quick brief overview of the Q2 promo. The Q2 free registration promotion will run from June 1st through July 15th with a May 16th through 31st buffer period. The promo code SAVE50 must be used during the buffer period. For our Q2 creative strategy, we decided to go with the smartest addition to your kids' summer. So you'll find a variety of creative options on Market Hub, and they're all going to really show how Kumon fits into summer plans. Parents are eagerly looking for activities and extracurricular activities to keep their kids busy through their summer months. Oh, I'm so sorry. So we've really positioned ourselves as an activity that students can be doing over the summer, especially after a lot of missed learning and the transition to remote work. So we wanted to highlight the necessary skills to be ready for back to school in the fall. And in terms of our creative approach, we wanted to show how easily Kumon can go with students wherever they go. So you'll see photos of students doing summer activities, participating in different summers, just to keep the theme going along. And all of these variations can be found in Market Hub. And they'll also have QR codes available on there so that you can easily track activities and performance. And overall, the biggest thing we wanted to do is really balance what was going on this past year and how we can look ahead for the summertime. And along with the school age options, we also prioritize the early learner theme creatives. Early learners are among the groups that were hit the hardest through the transition to the virtual space. There was a lack of routine and lack of any type of structure. So now is like the perfect time where parents are looking for opportunities to utilize the summer months to prepare their kids for preschool and kindergarten. So we wanted to make sure we're hitting on important value points beyond just math and reading, but also those readiness skills that they need. And our key messaging is utilizing the summer to ensure preschoolers are ready for the school year. And again, these flyers and different variations of these flyers for school age and early learners are available on Market Hub, and they can all be customized with your center's information. So as you prepare for Q2 promotion, we want to remind you about the promo kits. The promo kits include the window cling and poster. Please make sure to place your order by April 22nd to ensure that you're included in that first shipment that will be on April 26th. And just so as an overview and a reminder of the dates, Market Hub opened for Q2 promote materials last month, March 15th. The internal free trial is almost at an end. It ends on April 30th. The deadline to order promo kits is April 22nd, and the shipment will go out on April 26th. The buffer period for the Q2 free registration will run from May 16th to 30 through May 31, and the Q2 free registration will be from June 1st to July 15th. Next, we'll be moving on to retention activities for Q2. As you remember from Nino's parent communication workshop, parent conferences are going to be really key in communicating with parents. If you haven't already, we really recommend hosting your parent conferences by May, just so that you have the opportunity to familiarize yourself with any plans that parents have for summer travel this year. It's really important to plan ahead and plan accordingly to be able to fit the needs of the parents during this time. There's a lot of anticipated summer travel, so being able to discuss and plan something together will be very helpful. Paper and digital surveys are available, and they'll be able to help you find topics of discussions during your parent conferences, see anything that needs to be discussed or talked about. Um, and most importantly, during your parent conferences, we really want you to take the learnings from Nino's workshop to ensure that you're communicating the perceived value and quality of Kumon. So making sure you're highlighting the positive attitude, concentration, self and time management, confidence, independence, and a lot of those important topics that we discussed during Nino's presentation. During parent conferences, you're going to see that there's expected travel and time away. So it might be a good opportunity to highlight who wants to go when you're talking to parents at this time. Summertime is like always tricky because there's an increase in absent rates, but if you want to have be able to align with families and what they're looking for, and if their schedules are too packed, you can offer Kumon to go, and just letting them know that Kumon's virtual classes offer that flexibility this summer that they might be looking for. Students can take Kumon and their pre-planned worksheets wherever they go, and they have that flexibility of logging into virtual classes if they'd like, just so that they're still connected, they're still communicating with instructors and being able to have that guidance. The materials for Kumon to go can be found on iKumon. So on iKumon, you're going to find a digital flyer, you're going to find social images, email signatures, and all which include the virtual classes option. And that'll be a really good opportunity to be able to pinpoint that and that option. We also have additional Kumon to go assets available on the K store, and that's free of charge. However, those materials, only the vacation form highlights the virtual class options. So all the other ones are more generic and specific to Kumon to go and the pre-planned worksheet assignments. Another way to keep up with retention this summer is by amplifying and helping promote our summer reading challenge. Just a little background, the number one way to avoid a summer slide is for kids to continuously read throughout the summer. So that's the easiest way to keep their brain active to overcome any learning loss. So therefore, we decided to develop the summer challenge for students to participate in. The reading challenge is going to be running from May through August. Its main goal is to encourage kids to keep reading throughout the summer. Students are going to be encouraged to read books from 10 different categories and levels, and then complete activity sheets to test their comprehension. K&A will be featuring different reading categories each week for 10 weeks, starting on June 21st. And we will also be having a landing page that will be available for the public and will include a variety of resources that parents can go in there and download themselves. We really, really encourage promotion and engagement at the local level. We'll be promoting this on our national social pages to target not just current families, but also new families who might be interested in in enrolling their child. So this will help us amplify that. And the landing page overall will help make the planning a lot easier. It'll take a lot out of the instructor's hands because parents can go directly to the landing page. They're going to be able to download the materials, print them out for their child. Um, this way, instructors don't need to be worried about coordinating everything on their end. So the landing page will have a variety of resources like an overview of the challenge, 4 different activity sheets that parents can print out. Also, we have book recommendations by level. Those will include books from the recommended reading list, as well as general books that fit the different categories. There will also be relevant summer reading articles for parents to refer to. Um, and in iKumon is where the resources will also be available for you. So all of the mentioned resources will be on there, but we'll also have print and digital flyers available for you to have, email templates, Zoom backgrounds, and most importantly, we'll have a promotions guide that will really be able to help you with optional center activities and different ideas to really encourage that summer reading over the summer that aligns with the summer reading challenge, just so you can amplify and continue that engagement at your center. We now have a new sticker map. The travel theme sticker map is available on K-Store for purchase. Came out really great. I think it'll be a great tool to keep your students engaged and interested on their progress. So definitely be sure to check that out. Up next, we'll be touching on local marketing ideas to help you develop partnership, brand awareness, and drive more enrollment at your centers. So school outreach. School outreach is a great way to get started. Teacher Appreciation Day is coming up Tuesday, May 4th. So it would be a great idea to show teachers appreciation, maybe using donut boxes or bags, filling it in with resources. It's just important really to connect ahead of summer break, sending like thank you kits, brochures and coupons, or even considering a teacher referral program. Building that relationship and partnership with teachers is definitely a good way to spread brand awareness and to drive new students to your center. Um, and additionally, partnering with daycares or preschools is definitely a good opportunity for you to reach similar audiences. Being able to leave early learner activity sheets, early learner kits, or brochures. This will just help spread awareness and target parents with young kids so that they get an idea of Kumon. Also, summer sponsorships are definitely worth considering. Now that youth sports are back, it's a great way to collaborate. It might be a little too late right now to sponsor like a team jersey, but it would be definitely helpful to consider hanging flyers in your fields, parks, any outdoors location where you feel like foot traffic is going to be really big this summer. Having yard signs available, it'll definitely drive more um, awareness to the people in these locations. It's also a good idea to consider sponsoring local events or competitions, like STEM events or learning competitions. Uh, Library sponsorship of event opportunities and being able to collaborate with the local library. I know they host a variety of events at different locations. So being able to collaborate and really um, put together an event that the local community can come together would also be a great idea. And overall, like the biggest aim of summer sponsorships is really to increase your visibility and your brand awareness throughout the summer and beyond. So building these relationships now so that you can also benefit from them in the fall and beyond. Another interesting and innovative idea is summer camps cross promotion. So now parents are turning to summer camps. They want their kids to be um, busy during the summer. They want kind of like childcare throughout the day. So they're looking for these camps where they're enrolling their child. So it would definitely be a good idea to do some cross promotion. They can send like these camps could send home a flyer with kids about Kumon. parents could learn more about Kumon and consider your center. So capitalizing on this opportunity where you're reaching these audiences that would really benefit from the Kumon program. So different places where you can cross promote at our traditional summer day camps, but also YMCA's or Boys and Girls Clubs nearby, karate, dance, gymnastics, art studios, any any locations that aren't competing franchises would be a great place to cross promote, like swim schools or STEM places. They'll really aid in that cross promotion. And also be prepared to share their flyers as well so that you can build that mutual partnership and it can be an ongoing thing beyond just summer. Now that the weather is looking great and things are a bit better, I think it's a great opportunity for local community events. So keep an eye out for spring and summer fairs, maybe local farmers markets or any mainstream events. These are gonna Main street events. These are gonna be great opportunities for you to showcase Kumon or even participate in a tabling event by having simple giveaways like sanitizer, stress balls, marketing materials with QR codes to see how to see performance, being able to track performance, and importantly, recommended is having a lead inquiry sheet. You want to make sure you're tracking people who stop by the event or stop by for more information, because these are going to be important people who you can follow up with and be able to share more about Kumon in a more personal space, like maybe a one-on-one email or phone conversation might be more personal than if there's a lot of people at an event. In terms of digital through hyperlocology, we'll be confirming participation and budget with branches by April 23rd, which is coming up really close. Final customizations for ads are due on May 10th. And Q2 free registration campaign will run from May 16th through July 8th with hyperlocology. Other additional ideas are low-hanging fruits at your center. You can do a referral program where current families are helping to promote their experiences with family and friends. Parents who are already enrolled are your biggest promoter, so they have the full experience of being a Kumon parent. They're able to speak directly to other families who might be interested for the same reasons they were originally interested in. And they have the firsthand experience, so they'll be able to refer more people. Additionally, you can start considering second subjects if a child if you feel like a child is ready to enroll in the second subject, it might be a good opportunity to start prompting the families, having these conversations at parent conferences, and even considering siblings is a good opportunity to target more people at your center. If you see that someone has like a younger sibling or even an older sibling, being able to promote that Kumon can be a family activity um, and will benefit each of them individually would be a great idea, as well as lead follow-ups. So this one's very important, and I talked about this earlier when we spoke about events and having a lead inquiry form. Definitely important to reaching out to leads, and being able to retarget them. Kind of, they've shown interest, so you want to make sure you're following up. And since we had an influx of leads these past couple months, it would be a good opportunity to see which leads were interested in Q1, but they didn't sign up, but might be interested now or in Q2. Um, and additionally, the open house efforts and summer events at your center are also a great idea to continue doing, or virtual story hours. These events can be looked at as recruitment effort events, but also retention efforts. So being able to incorporate fun activities like uh, maybe like a popcorn or uh, a snow corn machine, a popcorn machine. Um, these events are going to be great overall. And also thinking about outdoor events is going to be a great opportunity to drive that foot traffic. If people are nearby a local Kumon center and they see like, I'm not sure, balloons or people, they might be more willing to check it out. Kids might be dragging their parents to come check it out. And it might just be a great opportunity to target new people in the area. And being able to have those materials prepared where you can distribute brochures and have them at hand so that you can give more information to parents at this time. So up next, we have an introductory SOCi training. SOCi is very new, and we totally get that. It's a new effort that's going to be helping you with your marketing, but we don't want you to be overwhelmed by the training today. It's really a high level introduction to all of the capabilities that SOCi offers, but we don't expect you to know everything or be an expert. So please don't get overwhelmed by the information. We just hope that this part of the presentation gets you excited about the amazing opportunities that SOCi has to offer and how it could generally be a great tool to implement and amplify your marketing efforts at your center. So I'm gonna stop sharing for a second and I will share the SOCi presentation.
As Daphne pulls that up, thank you so much. Excited to see SOCi. I heard from another instructor that spring is a perfect time to look at your discontinued and absent student list, so that we can make those calls and those follow-ups as families head towards summer. We can get them before summer starts and have those conversations to come back to Kumon. So also a really good idea.
Everyone, thank you for joining today's training. So today we'll be talking about the SOCi platform. I will start off with a brief slide deck and then we will jump into the platform. So starting off for today's agenda, you'll see that we'll be talking about why you're utilizing SOCi. We'll cover logging in as well as how you can go about scheduling your posts. And then we'll jump into our shared library content. After that, we'll talk about responding to engagements as well as the SOCi Go app. And then we'll talk about the customer success portal, how you can find your training resources, and then we'll have time for questions as well. So just to start out, we'll talk a little bit about SOCi. So SOCi is pulling in all your social media networks into one centralized dashboard. So what that means is networks like Facebook, Instagram, Google My Business, depending on what you link within SOCi, you will be able to see all those networks pulling into one dashboard. You are able to schedule content to multiple networks at one time, as well as manage all conversations across your different social networks. So we'll talk about that in further detail as we jump into the platform. Also, you'll see here that you can access SOCi on your desktop, laptop, tablet, or mobile device. Also, we'll be talking about the SOCi Go app throughout today's training. So for anyone who has not already downloaded the SOCi Go app, it's free, it's available in your app store, and it's available for iPhone and Android. All you have to do is head to the app store, search for SOCi Go, and you would be logging in the same way that you would on your laptop or desktop. So we'll get into the details of that, but I do highly recommend downloading the app to stay updated on the go. Also, just to share a couple statistics with you, just to talk a little bit about social media. Keep in mind throughout today's training, 1 out of every 3 minutes consumers spend with media and it's spent on social networks. So what that means is some of your different consumers are Googling, say, different products, places, events, and they are being taken to your social networks. So things like Facebook, Instagram, and so on. In terms of business related searches, Facebook would be ranked a top 3 search engine. And keep in mind that social media is now the #1 place for discovery. So when we talk about that, we're referring to things like places, events, and products. So now we'll give a preview of scheduling out your content within SOCi. So you are able to schedule content for a specific location, or if anyone is a manager of multiple locations, you can also do it at the group level. We'll jump into the platform and cover the scheduler. You also do have the ability to track the peak time of your audience. Another piece of today's training will be talking about the shared library content. So I'll talk about how you can download that content as well as upload your own and have access to anything being shared with you. Also, keep in mind that we do have many training resources available to you within the customer success portal. So once you reach the portal, which will walk through those steps, you have access to both SOCi University, which has self-paced training videos, as well as live weekly trainings that you can register for. And we also have our knowledge base articles. So there you can find step-by-step articles on the different functionality and enhancements. So just to talk about logging in first, here you'll see that we have our login screen. Also, I will send a recap, which will include a login link just in case anyone has any questions on logging in. However, first, what you will do is when you come to the login screen, you will put your email address here. And when it's your first time logging in, you will go ahead and click Forgot Password. So what that will do is send you an email. You have the ability to set your own password, and then you'll come back to the screen, put in the password field, and go ahead and sign in. So at this time, I will now jump into SOCi. So once you log in, the first thing that you will see is the logo in the top left-hand corner. Below that, you'll see that I am at my location level. So right now, I am set up as a manager of one location. So for anyone on today's training who does have access to one location, you will automatically be advanced into that location level. Also, the way you can know whether you're at the location or account level, you can always check the top left-hand corner. So for anyone on today's training that has access to multiple locations, I do just want to mention that you will be brought to the account level first. So it would say account here, and then you would be able to choose between your locations. But just focusing on the single location for now, the first thing that I'm brought to is my Insights dashboard. Keep in mind with the Insights dashboard, this is meant as your quick check in SOCi. So you can come here, let's say that you want to check on how many posts are scheduled for the future. Maybe you want to check on different engagement sentiment, how many engagements you've received. You can get that type of information here. Keep in mind that the Insights dashboard pulls metrics over the past 7 days. So we are giving you those updates over the past week. At the top, you're going to have your network. So here you can see anything high lit is already linked within the SOCi platform. Anything grayed out is not yet linked. So I do want to mention for this location, you'll see that we have Facebook and Google My Business linked. And then we have a couple ones showing grayed out. So that is letting you know that it's not currently linked, but you can also link it at any time. So just as an example, if let's say for any reason, you get Twitter down the road, you can always click on it and it will prompt you to log in and link within SOCi. Below that, you'll see that we have our content status. This is letting us know how many posts we have scheduled for the future and if any are pending, rejected, or failed. So I want to mention with these are just letting you know if post approvals are turned on, it will let you know how many are pending approval. However, if approvals don't apply to your location, then you won't see these populating. To the right hand side, we also have fan and engagement demographics. So we will let you know more about your audience. So we'll give you the gender as well as the age range of who is seeing your content. So that's a great way of seeing who your audience is made up of and getting some more metrics on them. Below that, we have a couple updates on engagements. So I do want to mention with engagements, anytime that we talk about these throughout today's training, this will include Facebook private message, Facebook comments, Instagram comments, Google Q&A, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So I mentioned before that SOCi is pulling in the conversations across all of your social networks. So we will give you a centralized dashboard, which is through our conversations module, and pull in all the conversations so you can filter through them and respond within SOCi. So just keeping in mind that that's a great time saver because it eliminates the need to have to go natively. So just to point out here from the Insights dashboard, we will give you the engagement sentiment. So letting you know over the past 7 days, what the overall sentiment is of your engagements, whether it's positive, negative, or neutral. The meter will move to the right or left based on that sentiment. And then down below, we'll let you know over the past 7 days how many new engagements came in and how many are open versus past due. Just to mention, any engagement that shows under open means that you clicked into it, viewed it, but have not yet responded. Also, to mention a best practice, it is best practice to respond to new engagements within the first 24 hours. So just keep in mind it would be the same thing if, say, a customer was to call you and ask a question. A lot of the time now they are reaching out through social media, through private message or comments. So same thing, making sure that you are responding to those questions or sharing the requested information. To the right-hand side, we also track the peak time of your audience. So what that means is SOCi lets you know when your fans are most active on social media. So to the left, you'll see we give you number of fans online. And at the bottom, we give you the times of day. So we'll let you know when your audience is most active, and that helps ensure that your post is getting to the top of their newsfeed. So some common peak times in general are around meal times. So around breakfast, lunch, and dinner are some common peak times where people are checking social media, and that would bring your post to the top of their newsfeed. And then at the bottom, when applicable, we also will give you additional metrics on your review networks. So you'll see review sentiment, reviews by network, letting you know where majority of your reviews are coming from, and if you have any open reviews, how long they've been outstanding for. The next section I'm going to head into is our content section. So here you can see from the scheduler, that is the first routine that we're brought to. You'll see a couple different colors showing. So you'll come into the scheduler anytime that you want to check any content that's been scheduled for your location. Or let's say that you are the one in charge of scheduling content. You can come here and we'll go through the steps of how you can schedule your own content. So anything showing grayed out is letting you know that this has already posted in the past. So here I can see that I have a couple posts that have gone to Facebook. As I hover over, I am also able to see a preview of what that content is. I also do want to point out, you'll see a little G icon here. So this is letting me know that this has been scheduled at the group level. So maybe your management team is scheduling content for you, or even coworkers, or if you're doing it yourself. So this will let you know whether it's been scheduled at the group level or the specific location. Also, anything showing in green is letting you know that that is scheduled for a future date and time. To the right-hand side, you'll also notice that we have our library sidebar. So just to mention with this is a great way to be able to pull in content to your scheduler that is in your library section. So we'll talk about libraries in further detail shortly. However, the libraries house all your different shared content. So without having to leave the scheduler, you are able to hover over a post. You can drag and drop it to a specific day. I won't actually do it right now, but let's say that your management team shares this with you. You know you want to schedule it out, but you'll also see if you want to customize it or make any edits, say to address your own community, you can also go into edit, customize it, and schedule it out. Also, if you do have access to multiple libraries, you can toggle between those libraries here. So now let's talk about scheduling out your own content. So in addition to any content maybe being scheduled on behalf of your location, we always recommend adding and scheduling your own content, addressing your community, and really just giving it that personalized touch. So there's two ways you can go about that from the scheduler. The first way is clicking post now. The second way is clicking on the day. So if I know I want to schedule something for April 2nd, I can click on that day. It's going to bring me to my create message box. So here you'll see that it's giving me a couple networks. These networks are pulling in based on the networks that I have linked within SOCi. So let's say for this example, maybe you just want to post to Facebook. I can always unselect the other network or reselect it. Below that, I have my message box field. So here you'll see that this is a free text field. I can also copy and paste any messaging I want to include. So let's say that I've been working on some different posts. I can include that in my message box field. Also, if you are going to use any hashtags, you also want to include that within your message box. So just as an example, if I do want to tag this, say as a March post or anything else, I want to include those here. Below that is a series of ways of how you can build out this post more. So first you have the option to upload a photo or GIF. So this will give you access to your file. So let's say that you took some new photos. Also, I do want to mention the SOCi Go app here. So we talked about the app before. Let's say that you take 10 new photos of your location on your mobile device. Through the app, that is a great way that you can automatically pull in those photos through your mobile device, take it from the camera roll and upload it into the app. Or if you are on, say, your desktop or laptop like I am, I can access my files and pull them into my post. You also have the option of choose an image. So I do want to mention within SOCi, you can also store your images. So let's say that you take those 10 new photos, you want to upload them into SOCi for a later date. If I already uploaded any here, they would show right here and I could just pull it into my post. Or if I want to upload any, I do have that option. I also have the option of shorten URL. So let's say that I want to post a link. I can copy and paste it here. And as soon as I click submit, this will pull into my post a shorter URL that's a little more eye-catching and user-friendly. We also have the upload video option. So if you take a video, you are looking to upload that into SOCi, you do have that option. Here you'll see a reminder and it lets you know what networks support videos. So all you have to do is keep in mind Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Once you click proceed, it will give you access to your files and you can go ahead and pull in that video. The next thing I want to mention is the option of choose a message. So this by far is your biggest time saver. This is giving you access to all of the shared library content. So here I can scroll through the various content and when I find something I know I want to include in my post, all I have to do is click on it. So this is a great way as this loads to be able to pull in that library content, let's say that's being shared with you from your management team or even coworkers. So you'll see it populated my message box as well as it populated down below. So that gives me access to all of the library content and we'll head into the library section shortly after. Also, for anyone looking to use Canva, you do have that option as well to launch into the Canva application. Below that is our tagging field. So I do want to mention, as we talked about before, if you do include any hashtags, you'll want to do that in your message box field. These tags are used for identifying certain content within the library section. So let's say that I want to tag this as a March post, or let's say that it's related to an article, I can tag it as that. These are used to be able to search content in the library section. So I will point out shortly how these tags are used. So for this example, let's say I want to post now. I can always uncheck schedule, select the post now option, or if I want to schedule for a future date and time, I can check off schedule, select my date and time. And the next thing I want to select is my time randomizer. So you may be wondering why you would utilize this. This allows you to add more variety to your posting time. So the reason for that is, let's say that I'm scheduling all my content for the month of April. I don't necessarily want to all go out at that same time. That could come off a little more automated to your audience. So by adding that time randomizer, it will switch up that posting time. And then all the way to the right hand side, you have peak time. We talked about that before. If you do want to post according to the peak time of your audience, you have that option here. Lastly is the option to run a contest within SOCi. So if you are looking to run a contest, you can check it off. This applies to Facebook. Essentially in SOCi, you would just choose your end date and time and let SOCi know how you want a winner selected, whether it's most like comment or random commenter. So what we would do is in the message box field, you can include, you'll want to let your audience know that this is a contest. So you could do something like, hi everyone, we're running a contest for the month of April. Here's the rules and here's the prize. So you want to let them know how long the contest is running for. You also have complete control over the prize, so it could be a small gift card, a small giveaway, but that's a great way to drive more traffic to the content that you are sharing, get people liking it, commenting on it, and overall increase your engagement. Once you have everything filled out, if you don't want to run a contest, you can also uncheck it and then just make sure you click schedule post. So what that will do is it will add to your scheduler in green and then it is ready to go for that future date and time. So I'll just back out of here for now. There's two tabs I'll just quickly point out. Your Q tab is a scrolling view of all upcoming posts, but most importantly, you can edit and delete. So anything that's on your scheduler, let's say that you are looking to make a change to it or remove it altogether, you do have those options here. The next tab we have is our Publish tab. This is a great way to be able to check on your post performance. So we talked about how SOCi is pulling in all your social media networks so you don't have to go natively into each network. So you can also check on post performance. You'll be able to check on things like likes and comments, as well as on the right side, you can see things about engaged users, fans, and so on. The next section that I'm going to head into is our library section. This is another big piece of today's training. So this is where you will come to access any shared content. So that shared content could be coming from your management team, coworkers, or even content that you are adding yourself. So once you head to the library, you can come here and search by library name. So let's say, for example, that your management team lets you know that they shared a new library with you. For example, let's say it's early learner assets. You can go ahead and search that name. Or let's say that you come into SOCi, you're really not sure what's being shared with you. You can also head here and just start scrolling through any content available to you. So you don't always have to know the library name in order to pull it in, but you do have your filtering options at the top. So as I go through the libraries, I do want to point out on the front end, you'll see that my tags are showing. So I talked about before the importance of tagging your content. So those tags are going to show here. So as I go through the libraries, I can see what type of content is in each one. When I find the library that I know I want to advance into, all I have to do is click on that library name, and that will bring me into the content of that library. I can always change my view to a tile format or to a more collapsed format. I do want to mention here that you can also search for content by tags. So let's say that I am looking for something that relates to the early learner. I can search by that tag and you'll be able to see those tags on the right hand side. So that's a great way to also be able to identify and find that content. Down below, you'll also see a series of icons within each piece of content in your library section. So I do want to mention here, this is based on access. So right now, my user has edit access to this library. So you'll see that I have the option to also edit or delete. But let's say that you are granted view access. You may not see all of these options. So two of those being delete and edit. But I do want to mention that you will have access to downloading content within the library. So you can download out of SOCi and save to your files. You also have the option of scheduling from the library. So depending on your workflow, let's say that it helps you to head into the library section first, go through the content, and then you want to schedule it here. I previously showed you how you can schedule from the scheduler, but here you can also go ahead, make any edits, take action on it, and either post now or schedule for the future. So you do have that ability from the library as well. The other option I want to point out is the option of move. This is a little more advanced functionality. However, if you are looking to make a copy, say of shared content, you want to move it to your own library to customize it as well, you have the option to select your own library, retain a copy in the original library. So essentially what I'm doing is leaving one copy for everyone in the shared library and moving one to my own library that I can customize and make my own. In that scenario, just make sure you click transfer. But as I mentioned before, that is a little more advanced functionality. Also, when it comes to creating your own library, you'll see I have the create library option. So you can always come here, just as an example. Let's say that I am running an April contest. I can set the category of contest and then I can choose who I share that library with. So maybe it's a library for myself, or I want to share it with users or a specific group or location. So once you're ready, you can go ahead and click create. The other thing I want to point out is the add message option. So let's say that you're in your own library, you have new content that you want to start drafting up and saving within the library section of SOCi, you can go into add message. So what you're doing here is rather than posting now or scheduling, you are putting in your messaging and then pulling in different content, maybe a photo or video, and you'll see here that your option is saved to library. So I do always recommend, especially when you're new to SOCi, building up your library content so you have it ready to go when you start scheduling out your content. So here I can go ahead and put in my text. I can pull in, say, an image. Maybe I want to choose something from the library, and then I can go ahead and save to library. So that is how you will start building up your content. I'm going to quickly go into our images tab. Most importantly here, as I mentioned before, this stores all images that you add to SOCi. So let's say you have those 10 new photos, you can go to upload. You can select those photos and pull them in. You can also select multiple photos at one time. And then for notifications, just a couple reminders here. If you ever see an error on your scheduler, you can go here for more information. If you run a contest, this is where SOCi will notify you of the winner. All the way to the right-hand side, you also have the envelope icon. So if you are looking to set up additional email alerts, you can go to create new subscription. Let's say you want to pull it in for your location. You can go to something like custom. So as an example, let's say that I am trying to stay on top of responding to engagements and I want to receive an extra reminder when they come into SOCi. So here you'll see I just pulled some in from our dropdown. What this says is that I'm going to get an email when a new Facebook engagement comes in based on the categories that I selected. So once you get that email, it will let you know there's new Facebook private messages or comments. Sign into SOCi to take action on them. And then you can go ahead and click create. The next section I'm going to head into is conversations. So within conversations, we are pulling in all the conversations across your social networks that are linked within SOCi. So from the engagements tab, you'll see you have brought to all engagements. You do have different ways to filter through as well. So let's say that you come into SOCi, maybe you have 20 new engagements to address. You can sort by sentiment, network, and time frame, as well as engagement type or keyword. Or you can also just start going down the list and responding. You'll notice we give you the status, the sentiment, and the date and time. And then all the way to the right hand side, most importantly, I mentioned that you don't have to go natively into each network. You can go ahead and respond within SOCi. So whether it's from Facebook, just a reminder, we talked about this is pulling in Facebook private message, Facebook comments, Instagram comments. Also, if you have it linked, Google Q&A, Twitter, and LinkedIn. The last thing that I want to point out in this training video is you'll see in the top right hand corner, you have access to our support center. So as you are going through and responding and navigating the platform, questions may come up. So you can always reach out to our support team or access our training resources. So here, that's going to launch you into our knowledge base section as well as SOCi University. So just keep in mind that everything is through your support center. So we have a lot of great knowledge base articles as well as self-paced training videos. And the last thing is you also have the ability to submit a ticket with our support team. So if at any point questions come up, just make sure you're clicking into that support center. So at this time, I'll go back to our slide deck. The last thing I just wanted to close out with is sharing our support email. So if you have any questions, you can always feel free to reach out to our support team. So thank you, and let us know if you have any questions.
Awesome. So I really hope that you found this video very informative. Also, just a reminder, please don't get overwhelmed. This was a video to help you get familiar with the different opportunities that SOCi has to offer. KNA will continue to support you. There's many great benefits like being able to see the calendar, being able to see what's already being done so you can schedule posts alongside that and being able to be productive. So I really hope that you're all excited at this time. If you have any questions, please feel free to type it in the chat or unmute yourselves, and we'll be happy to answer them.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
yeah, thanks so much. So that was a lot to digest. I know a lot of people are also thinking the same thing. I got a few text messages about it. Very, very, very big overview. But I think it's really important that this video will be made available after today's meeting, and it will not be blurry. That was an issue with the share, or maybe the Eastern storm out there. But we'll be able to digest that in smaller parts. Also, when you log into SOCi, there's a full, it's very similar to KU On Demand. There's all these different learning modules and videos that you can see. And a couple of people in the chat have talked about referencing those already. So once you log into SOCi, you can find those training materials there. But I think if there are any other questions, put them in the chat and we can follow up afterwards. But thank you so much, Daphne, for sharing this, not just this video, but all of the Q2 information and some really good ideas about, I think, just engaging the local community, right? So to piggyback off that, I'm going to hand it over to Angela.
Hi everyone. Actually, we're going to transition over to Teddy first. We have an exciting opportunity in line to share with you guys for Q2. That's marketing related and a co-op. So Teddy.
Perfect. Thank you, Angela. And thank you, Daphne, and also Leah for sharing the first portion of today. So today I'm going to jump in here over to some information just relating specifically to the West Coast. So as you all know, we're operating the hyperlocology scheme at the moment. That's kind of running from the beginning of this year, probably for the rest of this year. And in addition to that, we also are working on adding in another opportunity for a campaign coming up here for the second quarter of 2021. So I'll plot my little notes here just so I make sure I cover everything. So as you can see here on the results page for the first section it's just basically doing a look back at all of the results that came in for the first portion of the year, specifically for March. So as you can see down here below, we have some information relating to the region and also by branch specific. So when looking at the results here for NNEO, participating programs were able to receive 45 NNEO, and when they participated in the program and also the campaign, they were able to pull in 49 NNEO into their centers. And then again, also for the centers that were not able to participate for the first portion of the year, their numbers here were sitting at 38. So you can see that it does marginally help you out in terms of giving you that extra boost in terms of trying to get your name out into your community, to let people know where you're at and what Kumon is originally about, as well as giving them the opportunity to connect specifically to you, just because we all know it's a little bit more geo-targeted specific. So on the next portion here, we're going to go through and look at the parent orientations and how this all affected a lot of you who are participating and not participating in this marketing adventure. So the first portion here, as we can see, is out of the 302 centers, the booked POs for February and March was almost a little over 4,500 versus the centers that were not participating which was about 200, was about 2,800 booked POs for February and March. So when you look at the year over year for the ePage access, so parents who went on and got onto your ePage specifically to look around and see who you were all about, for the non-participating centers, you were still up 89% compared to February of 2020. And then for those who were on the hyperlocology system, they were able to actually rise to 122% compared to February of 2020. And also again for the, let me scooch this little camera thing here over. Okay, so for March year over year, again, also that was 52% up and also 37% up for the non-participating. So as you can kind of see here, for those who have not joined yet, if you still are wanting to, you definitely can get in touch with your branch, just because it does give you that extra little boost and nudge that you may not have to worry about. It's something that you basically can kind of let it go on autopilot, and it just works for you. So now onto the hyperlocology information as a reminder here. So for the program in terms of that word, I guess what we're using is, think of it as the subscription. So when you're looking at the program, you're basically automatically subscribed every single month, whether you do a 6 or a 12-month commitment. So once you kind of sign up for this program or subscription, then it kind of basically does the basic autopilot for you. So it's not something where you sign up and you have to continually adjust. It's something that it's definitely kind of taken care of as like a base minimum. In addition to that, we'll go to the next spot here. There we go. So the campaign is something that's an addition to the program or the subscription. So the campaign is what we're kind of running now at the moment, and what you've probably seen in lots of emails or communications from the branch and also your field consultant, is the campaign is kind of that little extra boost on top of your traditional program or subscription. So not only will you be running the traditional 6-month or 12-month subscription, but it's kind of basically an extra little jolt. For those who exercise, it's kind of like your protein shake on top of your other protein shake. So it's just like an additional boost for all of you to kind of get in as much as you can into your community so that you can kind of bring in as many people as you can during the promotion time. So the campaign specifically for this one is what we do is we also kind of run even more geo-targeted display ads and also utilize Facebook advertising a little bit more heavily. So not only are you just reaching traditional ads, but you're also trying to reach more networks. The campaigns also kind of have like the call to action. So once they do click on it based on their area, it does take them over to your page to kind of go ahead and book an appointment. The one thing also to note here for the campaign, because I've seen this question come in, is can I sign up for just the campaign, but not the program or subscription? Unfortunately, at this time, it's no. So you would have to sign up as a base for the program. And then on top of that, you can sign up for the campaign. So you can't necessarily just sign up for one and the other. You have to sign up for the program, and then the campaign's kind of the additional part that's added on to. Basically, kind of, you know, you can't just hang windows in thin air. You need a house frame to kind of do it. So it's just the additional on top. If it does change in the future, we'll let you know. But as of right now, you'll have to kind of do both at the same time. Just skip over here. And just got too many video here. Okay. So again, for the hyperlocology co-op, at the minute, we're having something additional, which is what we're kind of needing a response by next Monday. So a co-op we're running to boost Q2 to increase your NNEO subject counts is we are running a campaign, which basically here what you can do is when an instructor or center signs up and adds in $150 for the additional campaign on top of their usual subscription, the branch now will also add in an additional 100. So in total vested to your center for the campaign alone for Q2, it would be a total amount of $250. So again, the campaign includes the Facebook advertising, the geo-targeted display ads. It also has the option for the instructor to select image used for your ad. So if you want a particular picture, you definitely have an array of choices of which you would like to use, and you can kind of rotate out as you go along. And again, the ads will continue to include the national promotion and for your registration call to action. And then again, the ads also are linked directly to your center e-page. So if someone wants to sign up, it'll take them directly to you if they're just down the block from where your center is. And also for this one, again, the 6-month subscription fee is $22 a month, and the program media cost per month is the $75 minimum, which is the recommended. And also for the Q2 campaign, $150. That will be kind of the minimum you need to invest in order to kind of trigger the co-op offer that we have at the moment, which is the additional 100 on top of your 150. And then hopefully for Q3, Q4, we'll have another offer hopefully for you kind of in the future. But I don't know, have I missed anything, Angela, on top of what was gone through today?
No, thank you so much, Teddy. So I know that there's a lot of questions in the chat, and I'm going to spend just a little bit of time because I don't want to steal too much time from our next presenters to share this. But number one, and most important, is that I think I know that there's a lot of confusion regarding hyperlocology. It is quite a complicated system to understand and absorb for the first time. When you have questions, or should you have questions, please reach out to your field consultant, and they can do a great job on explaining to you how all the different layers of hyperlocology work. Just to summarize what Teddy has shared really quickly is that hyperlocology, what they are is they're just a vendor, the vendor that is helping us with online advertising. So creating different opportunities for us to be able to put ads out to your target audience near your center, the geography and things near your center. Very similar to the advertising that we have run in the past before. So they are just a pure vendor that does that for us. So media buying experts that do that. Number two, to join hyperlocology, it is a subscription-based joining. So it's not a, I'd like to join for this month, but not next month and so on. So it is a subscription, very similar to, let's say, a magazine If you opt in and you purchase a magazine subscription, it is a dedicated subscription. So you can join for a 6-month period, or you can join for 12 months. Since, there's a lot of questions, maybe we would advise, since we're already in April, maybe join for 6 months if you're interested to try it out. So to join, there is an administrative fee for the subscription. If you join for 6 months, the administrative fee is $22 per month. And that's something that will be billed to you on your statement every month. So that just allows you kind of entry into the hyperlocology, all the different opportunities available. So then once you're in the hyperlocology opportunity, there's 2 different layers of advertising. So the first layer that's going to be running for you every single month of your subscription, similar to, as I mentioned, if you subscribe to a magazine, you'll get the magazine every single month, right? So when you join Hyperlocology subscription, you get then access to their program. Their program means you will have ads that will run for you every single day of the 6 months or 12 months that you opt in for Hyperlocology. So the program ads are going to be what they call always on. It's always out there, and it really targets for the Google AdWords. So it's helping you with your search engine optimization and the results for Google, plus display ads. So it's something that's always on there, always running while you are part of this subscription. While you're also part of this subscription, you then have the opportunity to do these add-ons. Add-ons are what they also refer to as campaigns. So these campaigns allow you to be able to really utilize and heavily promote the K&A promotions that are running during the different time periods throughout the year. So far during the campaigns that Hyperlocology has offered, they have run so far for Q1. We're about to launch for a Q2 campaign. A Q2 campaign, once again, just helps you really promote and maximize the awareness around your center of the free registration opportunity that's starting in the middle of May, running through July. So the ads, if you join the campaign, those ads will then be displayed on things like Facebook. They'll be displayed in retargeting ads. So retargeting the families that have expressed an interest or clicked on the ads or have gone to your websites and things like that. So retargeting is a great way to help remind and stay like top of mind to those families that have already shown an interest in your center or in Kumon. And so that's really kind of the difference. So once again, just the entry in the door is the subscription. So you have to pay for the monthly administrative subscription. Then you are then you have the program. The program then allows you to then pay for advertising that's running the entire time of your subscription. Then you're able to then have these add-ons. These add-ons are then what Teddy has just referred to, as we are then also launching for this Q2 add-on, we're launching a co-op for this, which means that any center that then is part of this Hyperlocology program subscription then has the opportunity then to add on this campaign, the Q2 campaign. And when you add it on, if you then join for $150, Kumon is then adding an extra $100 to your media buying power. The entire investment will then equal $250 invested for you in Facebook advertising, the retargeting of your ads in different display ads. So this really then helps then encourage and push more families into your e-page to go directly to your e-page. So I'm just going to summarize with 3 main points of what Teddy has then just shared. Is that number 1, we shared with you the results. So there are everything from the increased parent orientations that you have seen from centers that have joined Hyperlocology. So we're definitely seeing a direct translated kind of cause and effect as far as results, and as well as the new NEO for the month of February. The centers that have joined and have joined also this extra layer, not just the program, but this extra layer of the add-on, the average new NEO is 11 more new NEO for these centers than non-Hyperlocology participating centers. So 11 new NEO Hopefully that will kind of entice you to be a little bit more interested in joining not just the hyperlocology, but to add in that extra campaign add-on that we talk about. And so that's kind of the whole package of hyperlocology, really kind of promoting Q2. And don't forget, by doing that, K&A will then help you and assist with all opportunities so that we can then give you that extra boost of that extra $100 to really promote your center. So hopefully that explains it. And once again, if you have any questions, please reach out to your field consultant. We are looking for all of the feedback and anybody that's interested, number one, in joining hyperlocology in general. Please let us know by Monday the 26th. That is a firm deadline because we need to get everything launched and processed. Anybody also that's interested in doing the add-on of this co-op campaign, please also let us know by April 26th. So by Monday is the deadline basically for hyperlocology for Q2. Once again, if you have questions, please contact your field consultant. So thank you so much for your time for this co-op. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Jacqueline so we can transition to our next speakers.
Thank you so much, Teddy and Angela, for providing those clarifications on hyperlocology, as well as that very, very exciting opportunity for the Q2 campaign. So again, if you're opted into the hyperlocology program already, and you're still debating if you want to opt into the campaign, friendly reminder, right? If you opt in at the campaign at $150, the branch is going to pitch in also at $100. So reach out to your FC or OAs to take advantage of this opportunity. With that said, at this point in the IMM, we are going to transition to the second topic. So at this point, I would like to introduce two C&D specialists that are present for this portion today, Vitali and Shell. And for those that don't know, C&D stands for Center Network Development. So without further ado, welcome Vitali and Shell to go over the 49/51% ownership opportunity.
Oh, great. Okay. Thank you so much. I was trying to unmute myself. Wow. So I didn't expect to be a part of a packed field content IM today. So fortunately for everyone, we have less than about 30 minutes to cover two primary topics. The first one is the 49/51% ownership. Wanted to give you just a cursory overview of that. Probably will spend less than 10 minutes covering it, and we'll allow for some time for questions and answers. And then I'm going to turn it over to my good friend, Shell, who will take some time to reflect on and remind everyone about the instructor referral program. So without further ado, and again, I appreciate everyone's time today. Thank you so much. We'll jump into this. The 49/51% ownership Kumon Center opportunity is something that is slowly starting to evolve as an extension to a consideration in lieu of a second center, or for someone who wants to go beyond where they are currently with their existing center. So if we go to the next slide, please. Great. So as I said, investing in another Kumon Center is one way to reflect on the 49/51% relationship as an option for instructors that see the opportunity to expand what they've currently built for themselves with their current center, have seen what they've done over the years and build it up to a level where they're very comfortable and streamline the process and can realize the benefits of being able to go beyond that initial center that they have, or perhaps two centers, and be invested in another center and have limited scope of responsibilities. I liken it to, if you will, next. If you think about a Kumon Center transfer in which the seller is a financial backer and guarantor, and they're selling 51% of their business, right? So they're going from the forefront of that responsibility and ownership and managing their business and handing it off to the ideal candidate that they have. And they still have an investment in it, but they're taking a back seat to that responsibility, which will afford them time to do other things. Next slide. So as a 49-51% ownership, there are three really important requirements that are really the foundation of this opportunity. One is the candidate must own a minimum of 51% interest in a Kumon Center. They can own more, obviously, but at the minimum, it's 51%. Two, the maximum that an instructor could own is 49%. You can own less than that and give more to the candidate, but at the heart of it, it's 51% for the candidate and 49% for you as a vested instructor. And then finally, and this is really important, and I'm going to spend some time on this as well, is the formation of a corporation or LLC. It's required, and it makes sense because it protects the integrity of the relationship, if you will, in regards to your investment portion, but also covering the candidate who would be the primary owner of the business. And if we could go to the next slide, I'm going to spend some time talking about the corporation and the requirements to that effect. There are more information that's available to you with regards to forming a corporation or LLC relative to the 49-51%. And that information can be found in the franchise disclosure document, item 15, the training agreement, item 8, and then the franchise agreement itself, item 10.6. There are 7 overviews regarding the corporation requirements that I wanted to discuss with you. I said this before, I'm going to reiterate it. And the reason why we do this is because, as many instructors may remember, there was a time back when we allowed for a partnership, 50-50 partnership. We no longer do that. So it's not an option. It's something that if someone was to venture out and consider this as an expansion to their current center, the 49-51 would have to be intact. 2, there is one individual that's designated as the corporation instructor. And again, that ownership of 51%. More, but no less than 51%. And that likens it to the fact of that partnership, so one individual. When we did the partnerships in the past, there was actually 2 people that were instructors, but no longer. And very obviously, Kumon approves a corporation instructor who must complete the IDP training. It's the same process that every candidate goes through. I was going through and looking at many of the instructors that I know and looking at some that I have actually worked with and helped become instructors themselves. So it's the same process for this candidate. They would have to complete the IDP training. They would have to sign the franchise agreement on behalf of the corporation. Stressing that because it would not be a sole proprietor. They would have to sign it under the entity themselves. Next point. Yes. So this is an important one. And again, using that example of the center transfer where you sold off 51%, the corporation instructor is personally responsible for the operation of the Kumon Center and must hold the power, it's important, to direct and control the entity's affairs. This protects the integrity of the relationship and mitigates that relationship of that 50-50 that once was. Next point. Identify, and this is important, when we talk about the 49-51, it's typically we think of 2 people. However, there are situations where it's more than 2 people, where you have the candidate who owns 51% and that remaining share of 49% can be divvied out beyond another person, 2 or 3 other people. But that collective group, if you will, would all need to be identified and have titles, and their role in the business would have to be designated. Next one. I can't. There we go. How do I get rid of the comment? All right, by the way, I couldn't see the play. All involved in the corporation must sign. And this is another important takeaway here, guys. I think that my experience in working through this 4951, I've highlighted these points because these were things that were actually discussion points in moving deals forward and not moving them forward. So all involved in the corporation must sign a personal guarantee. And again, all these forms and everything is in the franchise disclosure document. A confidentiality and a non-competition agreement, which would be attached to the franchise agreement. And then finally, oh, okay. I know what it says, fortunately. The formation of, there is Kumon language for an LLC, and it needs to be approved by our legal department, working with both branches that I do, Seattle and San Francisco. The branch is very good at supporting that process and ensuring that the filing of the LLC or corporation and the purpose language from Kumon is incorporated there the first time around, rather than sometimes it does happen, but if it does, we would have to make an amendment to it. So these are 7 highlights to the requirement of the corporation effectively being in place for the 49.51%. If we could go to the next slide. Great. So when thinking about this as an opportunity, and I realized as I was surfing through the pictures of the instructors that this may not be an opportunity. You're probably more focused on SOCi and hyperecology right now, as I was trying to figure it all out right there with you guys. But in regards to this opportunity, there's not only the important takeaways of the corporation and the percentage of ownership, who gets what, but 2 other really important takeaways is, if you were to venture out into this, who would be that candidate? And not unlike, again, the center transfer and reflecting on who you would want to purchase, we always reflect internally first from your center, looking at family and friends who are very familiar with what you've done and staying true to what you do, and they really want to learn more about it. Obviously, main assistance, many centers have transferred to main assistance. And if you're not looking to sell your business but looking to expand it, main assistance is a great vehicle to be in that person, that 51% person. One of the things with regards to this relationship is trust, right? We talk a lot about trust in just the general development of a Kumon Center, but having that foundation of trust, and certainly main assistants fall into that scope. Parents themselves, many of our candidates who've opened up Kumon Centers or taken over centers have been Kumon parents themselves, all of which could make an ideal candidate owning that 51% and then opening up that 49.51% center. There is one more avenue to consider, but it's very unlikely. It's only happened once currently for me. And that's actually a candidate that is outside of the family, friends, main assistants, parent scope. And it's someone who's interested very much in becoming a Kumon instructor. Perhaps they just graduated from college, or they just don't have the financial wherewithal, but they meet all the other parameters. And if someone is looking to perhaps venture out, there could be someone that I could connect you to, that you could speak to and perhaps collaborate with. All of which could be part of that sort of steps in finding that candidate. Next, please. Okay, thinking and reflecting on that, finding a candidate, you want to balance that out with when I talk to candidates just in general about the Kumon franchise opportunity. But specifically for you, a next step, if you were to consider this opportunity, is looking at new and existing centers. I noted here the KumonFranchise.com website, a great website. If you haven't been on it, it's worth taking time to explore that. It identifies the current expansion areas as well as the centers for sale. Internally, you have ICUMON and the EA expansion list, correct? I looked at it the other day and I think it's through March, so that will be updated as well. That's another avenue to reflect on. The monthly branch notification identifies centers that are up for sale, as well as new expansion areas being released, so another avenue. And I will take this time to say, for the instructors in Seattle and San Francisco, we have 2 company centers that are available for sale, as you know. And it's again, they're listed on the ComeOnFranchise.com website, as well as a branch notification. Of course, I'm more than happy, as well as the branch, whether it be your field consultant specialist, branch manager, or a GM or assistant GM, all of who would be more than happy to talk to you as well about new or existing centers. Another next step would be to receive the 2021 franchise disclosure document. In preparing to have a discussion with a potential candidate, you want to be mindful of some of the changes, right? It's important not only to reflect on the corporation content, but also what's important in terms of the changes. And many of you may know this or may not know this, but the franchise fee changed from $1,000 to $2,000. Small in scope, but it is a change that's worth noting. Our marketing effort has changed as well. Prior to, we expected to have candidates spend $4,000 upfront in the first 3 months. We've since remodified that to a point where we now sort of control the content. It's more of marketing, online marketing, and you're only charged $2,000 in the 5th and 6th month, which is a great benefit to building up that business. And then lastly, and moving forward, we obviously want to ensure that we have the best hybrid model in place with 4 days in center and simultaneously doing the virtual classes or any combination thereof. And then lastly, I think it's important to reflect on the operations manual. Specifically, I was going through it the other day and I looked at center operations and design. Second centers, right? Second centers. I reflected on that and looking at that content and what's involved in order to even just be considered and qualified, gives you that sort of scope of understanding and what the benefit of having that limited responsibility and 49-51% opportunity. And then one more component out of the operations manual, the franchise, the personal obligations, being mindful of that. You're obviously aware of your own personal obligations, but reflecting on some of the changes that may have occurred in the 2021 operations manual. Next slide. Okay, so I'm just going to some key takeaways for you guys really quick to reflect on. And obviously, I think there's no doubt if I was do a pop quiz, you guys, I would ask true or false, is the corporation LLC required? You all say, yes, it is. The candidate must own a minimum of what? Yes, 51%, correct. And then the maximum you could own, 49%. And I stress, as a silent partner, your responsibilities will be limited. The center operations will be the responsibility of the 51% owner, your candidate, the person that you brought forth and we collaborated on and opened up that new center. The corporation instructor is directly and solely responsible for the day in and day out activities, which you guys know you're doing it right now, right? Your involvement, it's important to know your involvement will really be to support that 51% candidate through the early stages of development. We offer the training, we offer the support and guidance through the branch, but we pale in comparison to you and what you've accomplished, right? You know what it's going to take. You know what you need to do to get that launched, that center. There are additional forms. And I initially, when I had this, I'm so thankful I condensed this down because this is really a lot of content that you guys are receiving today. There are additional forms that are required to be completed. And for anyone who's interested, not unlike a two-party meeting for a center transfer, there will be more content, very deliberate and specific to your opportunity. As always, just like in the center transfer, we always recommend legal counsel. Something for you to consider, particularly in the relation to the 49-51%, the risk reward factor there. And then, of course, unfortunately, it's worth stating, but a great transition to the second part of what we're going to talk about today. 49-51% opportunity disqualifies the instructor referral program. It's just something that C&D has taken, made a decision on. So these are the key takeaways. If you go to the next slide. To learn more, for anyone who would like to learn more, and I'm not expecting anyone to reach out right away, but sort of as you're sitting there later today, maybe, or tomorrow, think about it. And if you would like to learn more, please reach out to me or to Shell, depending on what branch you're in, and copy your branch manager, your GM, your field consultant. And I think it would be great to set up a Zoom session to discuss this further. So I'm not sure how long that took. Hopefully it was less than 10 minutes. I don't know if anyone was taking time, but if we could go to finally the last slide, which is questions and answers. If you don't have any, it's okay. I appreciate your time. But if you do, I'll do my best to answer them.
If any instructor wants to type a question in the chat, that'd be fantastic. Patty's been answering some throughout. That's really good. But Vitaly, I did receive a text message with the question in it. So the question is, I signed my current FA as an LLC instructor in a 49-51% already. Can my LLC or corporation be a 49% or less on a new center in this scenario? Or does it have to be?
Just to clarify, I just want to make sure I understand. So there is an existing corporation that this instructor owns 51% and someone else owns 49%. Okay. And they want to be able to incorporate another center, correct?
Yes.
And they would be, so I would have to get back to legal. And by the way, I spoke to our legal department prior to this. So Rob is on standby because I always like to defer the legal questions to, but this is a simple math problem to me. If you already got 51% and 49%, how does that incorporate into the second center? So that's a good question. I'll have to get back to you. So Kenny, I will copy you on the email to Rob. Okay. And then that way you can provide that forward. This person will remain nameless, but I'm going to try and throw out a name later to you to try and figure out who it is.
Okay, sounds good. And I don't think any other questions have come through the chat, but hopefully everybody knows Vitaly V. Stelmashenko at Kumon.com. Everybody good luck spelling that. I'm sure Vitaly can, it says it right there on his little video photo. That's his last name, V. Stelmashenko at Kumon.com. You can put it in the chat too. But I think we have some Shell info, right?
We do, actually. And again, thank you for your time, everyone. I appreciate you, and I really appreciate everything you're doing. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to my counterpart, Shell.
You might be on mute, Shell.
Hi everyone. How are you? Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Vitaly. My fellow recruiter. Both of us, we work in the Center Network Development Department. And so our labor division between two of ours, definitely Vitaly covers Northwest, but including Hawaii. Okay, the two branches he just people work with. One is San Francisco, the other one is the Seattle branches. And those are two branches. Okay, I cover the Southwest, the two branches, LA and Phoenix. Phoenix, we cover the center's operation in Colorado, Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, plus South Nevada. That's the Las Vegas area. And North Nevada, including Reno, belongs to San Francisco branch. Okay, thank you so much, Vitaly. You covered nicely the presentation on the 49% and the 51% in either corporation or LLC ownership. It's a pleasure for me to present the referral program. The first, I would like to thank you, many of my fellow instructors in the West. So you already participated in the past couple of years, even longer, in this referral program, sending the qualified candidates to Kumon. And after completing the training, so those new candidates, they get a chance to open the centers or took over the centers for sale successfully. So we have treated the referral program definitely as a very important and a functional channel for the franchise recruiting. Can we start the first slide? All right. The instructor referral program, started in 2014. We get a very good starting point. The instructors get involved in. So of course, we got like a significant increase in incentives, and the company decided to carry on the supply. You may ask, what's the reason behind the program design? So I definitely wanted to talk about a little bit. As you may know it, but Tadi mentioned, so the franchise recruiting department, we work on the daily basis in the Frank Connect system. So the candidates as the leads, so they started to contact Kumon, and we follow up individually. And definitely we recruited many candidates, including many good candidates. They may have, clues or the channels to Kumon, like they may come from like a Kumon assistant, or the former students, Kumon parents, the circle of friends. As Vitaly mentioned, we always treated that part as a very reliable and ideal candidates. Kumon emphasized the role of the Kumon instructor, not only in the center operations and the development, but also in the expansion of the Kumon brand in the local communities. So through your continued effort, more and more people get to know Kumon, and many the connections. For example, like the assistants work at the center, or parents, or former students, or the local educators, instructors of friends, of family members became interested in Kumon. I give you one example. We recruited many Kumon parents as successful and qualified the candidates. Okay, so in the beginning, they witnessed their kids' development. They appreciated, the benefits that they got, their kids received from Kumon, and then started thinking, like, okay, can we have a role change if I get involved in the Kumon franchise? And so I will have a role change to become a Kumon instructor. So I use, the same Kumon method, and I can let more other students to get Kumon benefits. Okay, and so when they contacted Kumon, quite different from maybe the other candidates who don't have any clue to Kumon. So they know what Kumon is, and also they believe Kumon. That's very important. Okay, so that's why we really wanted to carry on this plan and treat it as a very functional channel for recruiting our candidates. The reason is clear, because we trust you, our fellow instructors. With your impact, that's very important. So those people, either they stay in Kumon or they out of the program, but they still keep their great interest. They keep their work connections with you. So thank you so much for your influence. Let's talk about the the instructor referral program, so you can see could result in up to $6,000 in total in referral rewards to you. Can you turn to the next slide, please? Okay, this slide just let you know how this promote program can get work. So the first step is easy. The instructor will submit the referral form to the Center Network Development Department. Add that the email address, PFIR program, one word, at kumon.com before they referred the candidate start the course 101. Step 2, our department, Cindy, will process the referral and contact the referred prospective franchisee and referring instructor to verify the information. So at this stage, even it's in the beginning, but Tali and myself, we will follow up with the candidate immediately. At the same time, we will contact you because you recommended someone to us. So we will keep listening. How about this candidate's background? What is the current status? It's keep working or is available to work in Kumon? How about the other the criteria? For example, this person. How about the communication skills? How about the local knowledge? So we really appreciate any of those, the information we can get it from you, referring instructor about this candidate. And then the next step is referring instructor will receive first $3,000 from Kumon. After the new candidate successfully opened the center in the U.S. So we say that in the U.S. because they're not included Canada and Mexico. We cover the 3 country surveys, right? In the Kumon North America, the big umbrella. And so when they submitted, the first report B, and another $3,000 payment, the instructor will receive after the new instructor opened the center successfully and get a chance to renew the franchise agreement. Okay, that's in total, that's $6,000. Please turn to the next slide. Okay, there are some rules for this program. Okay, as a Kumon franchisee, when you apply for this referral program, so you are in a good position in the center operation and the financial account in Kumon. And this referral program is for both the new center opening and the center takeover. So in the first few years after 2014, when we started the referral program, that was only for the new center opening, but recently we extended this to the center transfer case as well. So, but it's not for the sale of the instructor's personal center. In other words, someone say, I may recommend it to someone to take over my center. So can't get a, that referral bonus. or probably not. This offer does not apply to second centers, existing applicants. You may ask what that means for existing applicants. That means someone, so they already contacted Kumon, so they existed in the pipeline, so they're ready to start the training, or maybe they're in the middle of the training process. Okay, and the other part, anyone who brings in a 51, well, he or she takes a 49% stake. As the Vitaly already addressed this. In other words, in these two programs, the 49 and the 51 ownership and the referral program A and B, you can take one of those, but not both. You turn to the next one. Yeah. And then turn to the candidates you recommended to Kumon. What's the basic requirements? Full-time commitment, we firm on that. 4-year college degree or higher. Financially, 70K liquor assets and 150K net worth. In the center transfer cases, if the buyer as a candidate is going to purchase a large size, well-established Kumon center with a huge student enrollment number, for example, maybe over 400, 600 subject students. So we have to review the financial paperwork from the applicant side. We need to raise the bar, make sure so they have capacities to purchase the center. In legal status, a US citizen or a green card holder, they're required. No other visa status can be, accepted. The new centers can get subsidies, rental subsidy. We match 50% for their rent for the first 12 months, up to $1,000 per month. For a total, the qualified candidate can get a $12,000, and the furniture subsidy up to $8,900, and the signage subsidy and the leasehold improvement subsidy. The last item, using another term, is just for renovation. However, I may explain for center transfer cases. So those candidates can get like a rental subsidy, a signage subsidy, and the phone system subsidy, but not the furniture subsidy or the leasehold improvements, because the center is already set up with the furniture, center layout, Kumon approved, it keep running. So that's the one benefit is actually the buyer, the new candidate can take it. Next slide, please. Okay. How you can get some information regarding this program. So if you go to check at ikumon.com, go to knowledge base, so in the center management section, you click on franchising and open, the two documents with the title instructor referral program. You will find one document, letter announcing the instructor referral program. Another one is the instructor referral program form. So, however, per your convenience, so you also can check at the branch or the CND specialist, Vitaly and I. So we will give you, the above documents for letting you get involved in this program. Next slide, please. Please note, so this offer, you would not be restricted by your city, branch, region even, and you can recommend someone you trusted to Kumon, and it's not like a one-time deal. So if you get more qualified candidates, you're welcome to let us know it I give you one example. Just recently, the instructor in Denver, okay, recommended someone, okay, as a former Kumon parent. So that person already relocated to Texas, okay, but that instructor knows the whole family and send us, the referral form, so that can be accepted. And that's the great benefits for this program. Again, because we value your recommendation and we treasure this referral program in working with you. Next slide, please. This is the form, so you can see it. And so it's easy to follow. On the right side of the form, so the first part is the candidate you may recommend. Please, provide the detailed information. And the second part, you just add your own information. And so we will follow up with, both the instructor and the candidate. Okay, next one is the ending part. So it's pretty easy to follow. And so again, we will treasure this referral program in working with you. And so if you have any thought or any questions, please let us know. So currently, if you have some brief questions, we may discuss briefly.
I think I'm just trying to follow the chat here. Patty has been a chat champion, so thank you so much, Patty and Vitaly, both of you for answering all of these questions that have come through in the chat.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Thank you for both Patty and Vitaly.
Definitely. And then we'll, just for time's sake, we'll follow up with those questions. I'll keep the chat open and we can follow up both Vitaly and Shell to make sure that it gets to your department and we get the correct answers going through. So a big thank you to both Vitaly and Shell. And then Jacqueline, who are we gonna end with today?
I would like to hand it over to Ed Wen, Field Consultant from San Francisco branch, to just give us really quick announcements and updates from the Bookmark Club.
Hi everyone, so let me share my screen. we just wanted to, on behalf of the Bookmark or the book club, we want to take a couple of minutes to recognize all the students and all the instructors who took their time and effort into making these wonderful bookmarks. So here are the winning bookmarks for round 2. So I know a lot of you instructors can kind of see familiar artwork from a couple of your students. We are in the process of printing and shipping. The bookmarks have been shipped. So thank you so much for your patience regarding the distribution of prizes. The bookmarks should be shipped and arrived at the respective branch offices sometime this week. And so hopefully we can start getting the prize distribution out next week. But to recognize the winning centers and instructors, I wanted to turn it over to Sandra, Marjorie, and Colleen.
Thanks, Edwin. As far as the submissions, we had just short of 400 submissions. So I wanted to thank everyone for getting their students involved. Now, as far as the winning centers for round 2, there was Connie Shadowich, Jane Chang, Jamie Lee Melkin, Vidya Ganesh, and Ann Lee. Okay, Marjorie, you take it away with the next 5.
Whoop, whoop. And we also want to say congratulations to Kavita Kapoor, Rubina Varani, Kai Sun, Richard Toshiba, and Marianne Hu.
And also a huge congratulations to Robin Rakadan Kava'a, Bindu Philip, Timothy Tam, Lois Lau, Smita Isao, and Michaelin Yorok for your winners. So congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
And then finally, we do have a couple of instructor raffle winners. So the three that were randomly chosen would be Lois from the Broomfield Center, Leaf from San Leandro Downtown, and Kavita from the Fremont Center. So these instructors, for every entry that came from your center, you would enter into a raffle. And so you will also be receiving a prize. And so for the winning instructors, congratulations again. We will work with your branch and distribute those prizes accordingly. And a quick reminder about the prizes. So first place winners get a $250 gift card and a $250 gift to the student school. Second place is a $100 gift card to the student and a $100 gift to the student school. Third place gets a Kindle e-reader and the finalist gets a $50 gift card. As I mentioned earlier, our bookmarks have been printed and they're currently in the process of being shipped. We hope to have them at the branch offices sometime this week, and then hopefully next week your FC and your branches will work with you to distribute the prizes. But thank you again so much for both round 1 and round 2. I know it was a long time coming, but it was great to see everyone's entries, and a big congratulations to the instructors and all the students. And we hope to, and please reach out if you have any other questions, but thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Edwin, Marjorie, Sandra, Colleen, everybody that was on book club. Those bookmarks look amazing. And I've seen some of the actual social media posts of some of the actually winners, like dropping off gifts to their school, like with the principal and reaching out to the community. And I just think it's really fantastic. So thank you all for your very hard work at organizing, putting together, and the tedious task of judging all of those bookmarks. While fun, I'm sure it was a lot of work. So thank you very much. And I look forward to doing it again. I'm really glad that we were able to end on that beautiful, sunshiny bookmark note. Again, a lot of information today, very important, but it's okay to digest at our own speed because we're all at different learning levels with each of these areas, such as social media marketing, even how tech savvy we are on our computers, and that's 100% okay. So gentle reminder, if you would like to order your Q2 kit, the deadline is the 22nd of this month. Hyperlocology co-op deadline is Monday the 26th. Okay, keep that in mind. Also on the, I believe it's the 28th, your students for the student conference must have had their applications submitted. So if you've contacted any students that are applying for the student conference, make sure they submit by the 28th. Okay, that's the deadline. Other than that, we'll have more information in the weeks to come, and we will see you all at our next learning opportunity, which will be with materials development instruction on students setting the right wish. Okay. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao. Bye, Monique.
Have a good rest of your day.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Jenny, say thank you.
Bye, Vitali.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, Harry.
Bye, Mr. K. Hi, Connie.
Bye, Mr. K.
Bye, Kenny.
Bye, Robbie.
Bye.
Lizelle, how are you?
Oh, hi, Tina. Bye. Hi, bye.
Good to see you here. I miss you guys all.
Oh, miss you too.
Big virtual hugs.
Bye,
Big virtual hugs.
Colleen.
Richard,
Bye.
hi.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful
Bye,
day.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.